Hey friends, I'm Scott and it's Azure Friday. I'm here with Miri Haradasa and we're going to learn how to create an agent with Foundry, build an AZD app, deploy to Azure all in one seamless browser-based workflow with vscode.dev/Azure today on Azure Friday. Hey friends, I'm Scott and it's Azure Friday. I'm here with Mira Haridasa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited because it means I don't have to install anything. This is
Yep.
VS Code for the web with Azure.
Yep. Yeah, pretty
How,
excited about it. This product has been kind of in the works for the last couple of years. We
uh-huh.
really wanted to take like VS Code, a really loved editor by multiple developers, but bring in the beauty of the compute backend and have it all in the browser. And the best part, make it very frictionless, seamless to use.
Okay. What was missing though? Because I could go to vscode.dev before, I could go to GitHub, I could hit the period hotkey that would then open up kind of a VS Code Lite that would let me explore my code base. What does the /Azure add to my vscode.dev experience?
So we're unlocking the run, debug, and deploy scenarios for customers, which basically means that you have a fully working terminal in the browser, which wasn't possible with vscode.dev, like the original experience. So we've partnered with Azure Cloud Shell to actually bring compute to developers. So all of your packages are pre-installed for you. There's no issues with dependencies. You're ready to go right in the environment for any development that you want, which is Azure tailored.
Wow, this is cool. Now, is this for students or can like a full-on enterprise use this as well?
It ranges from students can use it, and enterprise. I'm actually going to show an enterprise level application that can actually deploy in /Azure, and it's very easy to use. You know, if you're trying to share something with colleagues, for example, at work, or you're a student trying to just whip up something and show it to your professor, the capabilities kind of extend to both.
I dig it. Let's see.
Cool. Okay. So let's get started. So here I have the vscode.dev/Azure, which is kind of where the product lives. And once I load it, I have this walkthrough experience where I can look at my Azure extensions. I have Copilot ready to go for me. I can ask any questions here, or I can also continue on in the desktop. And this kind of tells me what are the main features of this environment. The other thing that, I wanted to point out was what are the extensions that are kind of pre-installed in this environment for me. So we
Mm.
pre-install the AZD extension for you, Azure MCP Server, Azure Resources, Container Tools, GitHub Copilot for Azure, and our brains behind the operation, which is our own extension that powers this. So with all of this, you have pretty much a fully working terminal here.
Mhm.
And let's say you created an application here, like a Hello World app, it would populate in the source control here, and I could go ahead and uh, you know, push that to GitHub, and I could share that with people that way, or I could go with continue on desktop and move over to VS Code Local and continue working in an environment that I'm very familiar with.
I see. So the drive, this environment, this container that we have at the bottom there, where you partnered with the Cloud Shell folks, which you can see at shell.azure.com, is ephemeral. So I want to have my source somewhere else. I can pull it and push it. If I was going to graduate to continue on desktop, I'd then pull down my source from there.
Pretty much. So we write down here, that brings me to like a good point where the session is for 4 hours. So
Hmm.
basically in this session, Cloud Shell is going to take care of all of the compute that is necessary to run any commands that you are running in the terminal. But what is happening that on the back end is for an ephemeral session, there's no storage account attached to it. Now, if we had non-ephemeral sessions, then what you would be paying for as a user is the storage account that's attached to it. So in this case, you actually get to run a bunch of commands, try things out with no cost to you. So it's a pretty cool way to get your feet wet with different applications, or as an enterprise, test out a complete end to end.
Okay. And I remember the Cloud Shell installed like Terraform and AZD and Python. So you're saying there's tools already installed in here I don't need to install.
Yep. And I'm gonna go ahead and show that to you in just a second.
Let's do it.
Cool. Okay, so before we begin with that, I just wanted to kind of showcase before we get into Foundry, like a few other places that you can actually use this product, like a couple of different entry points. So we have this really cool AI app gallery where you can kind of look through a bunch of different AI applications, based on the language you want and the type of application. So let's go ahead and like click on this get started with agent. So if I clicked on this and I clicked on open in, you can see right here I
Mm.
have VS Code for the web Azure. So if I clicked on this, it would take me directly to the environment and I would get started with that and it would pull down the template for me, and I'm ready to go. The only thing that I would need to do is kind of just follow these prompts to sign in.
Mhm.
So while that's getting started, we can move over to like the Foundry scenario, which is going to be like I have a simple app or an agent in my playground. And right now, like my agent is speaking in a pirate tone. But let's say I wanted to say, I want you to kind of mimic, clown like experiences. So let's tell the agent to do that.
Totally normal enterprise thing to do. Okay, so you've got an agent here inside of Foundry, and then you're going to refer to that agent from elsewhere, this chatbot.
Yeah. So let's just say hi to see if it's
What would a clown
going
say? I don't know.
to get my new. There we go. So we have a
All right.
really fun prompt going here. So what we want to do is actually now go to, so like if I click on view code and I want to open this up in VS Code just for the sake of the demo, I'm gonna already have this thing up and running. But
Okay.
if I go here and I click on that button, I have this walkthrough, which is actually going to tell me, okay, I have this agent in Foundry, but now I actually want to run the agent in this terminal. So all I
Hmm.
had to do is just click on that one button, and now I'm here. And
Hmm.
now I'm going to run the agent and just make sure that it's returning back to me um, the clown like experience that I asked it to from Foundry.
You
And
know,
there you
this is
go.
this is crazy because you could do this on a Chromebook, you could do this on an iPad. Like you haven't left the browser this entire time.
Nope, I haven't, and I didn't have to install anything. Literally the only thing that I had to run was this Python, command, and
Hmm.
I now have my agent that has completely moved over with me. I have my Python file here. I can look at other resources that I've created in Foundry. I can follow other instructions. I can take this agent and, hook it up to a another application and create a chat app with it, but all of that is done like in an extremely seamless way. So we're trying to break down barriers to getting you to deploy deployed ready applications. But yeah, this is like a very simple, movement from a Microsoft service to now an editor. But like you said, this is probably not as complicated or a real life experience for someone who's like an enterprise dev. So that kind of brings me to our next demo, which is going to showcase a more complicated template, which is
Hmm.
this RAG chat app, which is actually going to use Azure OpenAI and Azure AI Search. So, what it's going to do is where, as an enterprise, you can kind of upload your own documents or anything that the Azure OpenAI GPT models are actually going to pick up. And
Hmm.
we're going to create an application, a chat application in the browser with that, but you have the options to hook up like Microsoft Entra or any kind of security or compliance that you would want, given this template. So in this README, I see like I have a bunch of things that I would need to do to set up this application if I, went to GitHub Codespaces or I went straight to a dev container or VS Code local. But with the beauty of vscode.dev/Azure, all I have to do is run this azd init, and I'm gonna go back to that. Where do I have that? Here. Okay.
That's that one that we warmed up earlier, right?
Correct. This was using actually another. I was trying to get started with this agent one, but you can see here that it completely downloaded everything that I needed. So I
Hmm.
have my, .vs code file. I have vscode.azure, which is what is needed for AZD templates.
I
So
see. So it looks like you've got that AZD template URL in the
yep,
address bar there. That's the same as typing AZD init and then giving the thing. So it did the AZD init because you had that template URL. So the one click started
yep.
that init process, and here it is asking you, literally, do you want to deploy this right now?
Correct. So it was super seamless to kind of jump over and get started with this. But instead of doing that, I'm going to use the same environment to actually switch over to this enterprise level experience that we wanted to kind of deploy with. So
Okay.
let's take a look here. Let's see.
So we're going to move. Are we going to do it in the same workspace?
Yep, we're going to do the same workspace. So let's
Cool.
kick off this experience.
Yeah. Do
Let's
we want to do it in
initialize
another
that.
folder, or is it going to torch all of our other stuff?
I am going to just override it for today.
All right. Cool. We'll see if
Oh,
that gets us in trouble.
that might.
I think we might end up merging them if we do that.
Let's see.
You can see. Never hurts to try. Okay. So we overwrite the versions from our template here.
I think the environment names are duplicated right now. So I may
Mm.
have to open up another /Azure tab to
Well,
get
that's
the
actually a great
environment
thing, though,
names.
because you've got like 2 or 3 going here. You could be multitasking across tabs if you felt like doing it, and it sounds like it only takes like 30 seconds to spin up one of these for you. 40 seconds?
Yeah, so the way that this actually works is that there's different starts for Cloud Shell. So you see in this case, it's going to work a little bit faster because we're getting a hot start. So the
Oh.
first time that I open up this tab, it's going to go pretty slow because you're getting a cold start with the startup from the container that Azure Cloud Shell is creating for you. But
Mhm.
when you do it the second or the third time, since it already knows that it has to connect to the same container, it's going to actually push you down the hot start path. So it's a little
Okay,
bit
cool.
faster.
That wasn't bad at all.
So let's do this. This should help. There we
Alright. Oh,
go. Okay.
wow. Cool.
So let's call it temp. And now
I see.
let's
That
do,
unique environment name it was conflicting with before we were using the same environment name.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I noticed you haven't had to log into anything. You just told it, "I have my Azure account." AZD logged you in. Can you log into GitHub? Like, it seems like there aren't a bunch of login dialogues popping up right now.
No, so the only thing that it's gonna ask you, because I've used this environment a couple of times, it has my settings saved, but it's gonna ask you to just choose your obviously your Microsoft login,
Mhm.
and then it's gonna ask you to choose a tenant and a sub that you want to use. But we actually use that information throughout all the applications that you're gonna use, so it shouldn't ask you multiple times. Now with the GitHub login, while this is kind of working, let's just go through these prompts,
Sure, we
and
wanna
then
get it
we'll take care
going
of
to save time
that.
here.
So there you go. Let's kick there. Um, I think it's gonna ask me one more
No, it's gonna ask you a
time.
bunch because it's got some
Yep.
stuff here and some stuff over there.
So this is going to take a little bit. So while that's kind of going, brings me to the GitHub login. So
Mhm.
let's say I just asked like Copilot, hi. So it kind of depends on, is it your first time using, this application, or are you coming back to it after using it a couple of times? So on the first time, it's actually going to prompt you to sign into GitHub. On the second or third time, it's going to remember that what your GitHub login was, so you don't really have to do that. So in my case, it's going to greet me with a hi, and I don't really have to log in because it already knows my login details.
While it's loading something, do me a funny favor here and just take your Explorer and, like, move the splitter over a little bit to make, chat have a little bit more room. Ask the chat to make us an ASCII, um, architecture diagram. Say, "Just make me an ASCII, ASCII, architecture diagram of this, code base, because 'cause I'm not familiar with it, and I'd love to see what it looks like." This is a great feature that you can do with GitHub Copilot because a lot of people use it to make code, but I like to use it
Mm.
to explain code. So in this case here, while it's building, it's going to go and look at all the code, think about what's going on, and then you can, like, if you hit the up above the filter button there next to it, you see the little filter, just one over to the left,
Oh, this
one
one.
over that
There
one.
we go.
So it'll actually go and build like a little diagram to get a sense of what's going on. Because you had mentioned before that this was an enterprise application. This is quite sophisticated. I've seen this. Pamela Fox worked on this, and it's not just like a simple front end with a simple back end. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see the calls to power. It's still loading. So it's still developing the architecture diagram.
Mhm.
And I found that to be a really great way to explore a code base, learn about a code base, and I'm really impressed that it's working so nicely on the web here. Again, like you said, you didn't have to reinstall anything.
Yeah, it's been using this, we really want to create like a very seamless, frictionless way for people to actually get coding,
Mhm.
because I know that that is a very big pain point for developers. And it's given the age of AI, like things are shipping every single day. You just want to know, like, does it work with my, enterprise flow, or does it not? So this is a great way to do that.
Hey, well, go ahead and hit that button again, that full screen button to bring it back over, and let's see how we're doing here. So it's off doing some AZD stuff. Yeah, sorry I made your terminal
Yes.
smaller. You can pull the chat back away.
So
There we go.
I actually, this is going to take like 15 minutes to
Oh, wow.
because it's a
Okay.
pretty heavy application. So I actually pre-deployed one
Oh,
in
nice.
the browser. So this is the chat application that is using a temp company called Zava, let's say.
Okay.
So I asked it, what happens in a performance review, and it gave me back this response. So why don't we go ahead and ask it another question, and maybe we'll use the one here in the chat. Um,
So in this case, you're doing RAG over a database of PDFs. It's almost like
yeah,
a company intranet.
exactly.
Okay.
So
And this
let's
was
see.
deployed
Let me
directly
just.
from that quick start.
Mhm,
This is real code. I can sign up right now and do
exactly. So this
visualstudio.ps.com.
is done.
Mhm.
Ooh, there's so much going on. But
Yeah,
basically, at
it's
the
kinda
end of
cool.
this, it is going to give me a link to a link to an endpoint, and when I click on that, I can basically come here.
Okay.
Oh, it's
So while
going to
that's
generate.
generating right
Oh,
now,
there we
there you go.
go. Okay. So yeah, it pulled, from the benefits PDF that was given by this company, Saba, what my I plan is for my specific as an employee. So, other enterprises can basically come and give other documentation, and this is a great way to look through various or search with RAG key information that you would want.
This is pretty cool. So is this a preview? Is this something I can do right now? Like, can we stop the show right now? I'll run over to my browser and log in to vscode.dev/Azure. Is it going to work?
Yeah, so you can just go straight here. Obviously, you'd need a Microsoft login, and
Hmm.
you need a subscription to Azure. But we do offer, free trials or pay-as-you-go subscriptions to use it. But you can access the product at vscode.dev/Azure, and it's very seamless to use.
And then would you show me that gallery again? Because that sounds like an even better place to start. That is the azure.github.io, the AI app templates. That's another great place to
Mhm.
start.
Yep, it's another place to start and get familiar with various Azure services, and then also deploy it in our environment.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Mira, for chatting with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott.
All right, I am learning all about VS Code for the web, the easiest way to build, deploy, and manage cloud apps all from your browser. No installs, no setup. Just open it, code it, ship it. Today on Azure Friday.